Hello, my friends and movie maniacs out there. Mark the Movie Man here. Welcome to the final cut. Yes, as I said, I have a number of indie films on the block. I'm playing catch up, and this one has been a long time coming. I've been meaning to review this for quite some time. Got the screener a long time back. I do apologize for not bringing it to you sooner, and it is, yes, called Transformation. It is brought to us by writer and director Brian Hewitt, and we have the story here of a serial killer running loose in Syracuse, New York. This killer is capturing young women and doing mean, nasty things to them. And we, as we follow the killer, we see how he may be tormented by his own insanity, or he may be tormented by an actual demon who is asking this guy to kill people so that the demon can have people in his kingdom. And so we see some of that inner turmoil and inner fighting in the serial killer. Meanwhile, hot on the serial killer's trail is a police detective slash serial killer profiler from New York City who's there to help the local police. And this profiler has his own inner demons to work out. And we see how these two collide in a very spectacular and interesting fashion in a Transformation. I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed the story of it. It took a few turns that I did not expect, namely with kind of the blurring of line between fantasy and reality. I thought it handled it very well, especially considering this was shot on a lower budget. So yes, warning ahead of time, folks, you do have a lower budget aesthetic to this film, but they do make the most of it and do some very creative things with it, some creative editing, like when the demon shows up to the serial killer. I like how they handled that quite a bit. They didn't get too fancy with it, but at the same time it made sense and it worked really well, especially for the situations that they were in. Now, there are some extreme horror scenes in here, but even in that respect, they're handled they're handled carefully. I mean, they're not doing too much. The filmmaker Brian Hewitt definitely is aware of what he has to work with and works well within that. What also works well is the cast that he has. Brian Hewitt is playing the David character in here. The kind of guy who's struggling with his demons on not wanting to kill people. And then we have Wayne W. Johnson as Malachi. What a great character. This guy was he was trying to eat up the scenery in every scene he was in, and it worked for most of the scenes. A few times you would hope he'd maybe dial it back a little, but no, this guy went all in on the Malachi character. Now, Jody Puccello plays the Detective Jarvis character, the profiler, and really enjoyed his performance and his character. This guy who's just dealing with his own inner struggle stuff and still, it's almost like the serial killer tracking that down is his therapy and dealing with his own demons. So I enjoyed that as well. And Lila Dean playing the Mary character in here, I thought she also did a fantastic performance. Everybody does well in here. There's some solid performances for a film of this budget, which was a nice surprise too. There are some special effects in here which I think worked, and blood effects as well, and some intense moments too. The only thing that I would say about the film is that it could have been trimmed just a little bit. It felt like it went just a little bit too long. I dug the third act where things got a bit more dreamy and surreal, but at the same time, I thought it took a little bit longer than it should have to get there. It trimmed it down maybe to more of 90 minutes than 2 hours. I think this film really would have clipped along and given you still a lot of food for the eyes and for thought as well. So, overall, Transformation, while it did go long, I think was well done for a micro-budget indie film, and I think if you are into that, you should check it out. I'll put as many links and information as I can down below, as always, in the body of this review. I thank you for your support. Please check out our Patreon if you haven't already. We got a lot of great material always being posted there.